Welcome to Better Circles, a podcast where we bring great people together to share ideas that are good for the planet. We're your hosts, Fiona Smith and Luke Phillips. Every episode, we sit down with our deck of conversation starter cards and talk about the things that are making us feel hopeful and inspired. Hey, Luke.
Hey, Fee.
Here we are again.
Indeed, we are.
So it's just the two of us today. No guest, which is always fun. Love having the guests, of course.
But we don't get the comfy couches.
Yeah.
Only two comfy couches.
That's true. So bonus. You and I have both been super busy recently. So it's really cool that we've got some time to get together, record another episode.
Totally. Lots to catch up on. I've got a couple of pearlers up my sleeve. So there are cards to come. So
do you want to get started? Do you want to pick the first one?
yeah, cool. Well, we usually start with news snapshots, so I might kick off with that.
Yeah, awesome.
It's a piece of information that hopefully catches on, and I'm really curious to get your feedback on it because it's relevant to the way that you live your life and your values. Have you heard of precision fermented milk?
No.
So it's a thing.
Yeah.
The simplest way that I've found to describe it is you make milk in the same way you make beer.
You make milk. You ferment the milk.
Precision fermentation.
Wait, like Yakult? Do you remember those little bottles? The little
Yeah.
fermented
Is that
milk?
what that is?
I think that's fermented
But
milk.
it's still from a cow.
Yeah.
So no cow involved.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Cowless milk.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
True story, yeah. So it's a product that's on the market in the US. It's not, hasn't been approved in Australia yet, to my knowledge. What I'm hoping we'll chat about, because I think it's super badass and it ticks so many different boxes. It's still got the nutritional benefits. Unless you look up any dairy website, then they're obviously, sowing doubt in the nutritional benefits of it. It's still healthy on paper. It's exactly the same. It just comes from a different source. So they use the cells from milk, and then they have this precision fermentation process, which is I had to write myself notes because science is not my forte, which is in a giant bioreactor. So it's the same way they make insulin.
What?
And more accessible ways is like it's the same way you make beer, same way you make cheese.
What? But with the cheese, you put milk in first. What are you putting in to turn it into milk?
I think that's where the science of the precision fermentation part comes in.
Wow.
But obviously, you don't have to feed an animal for the animal to produce the milk. All the cows in a world where this is the new norm can go and live their happy life gallivanting around the mountains. They get to stay with their calves, as we chatted on episode 3 about Kathy. So Kathy will be stoked. She'll have to get a new career, but she'll still be stoked. That's her goal.
Should be more just like a friend of the cows rather than a farmer of the cows.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the photo of her just hugging the cow?
I think I have.
She can just do that all day. So the person that introduced me to it is Brendan Conlon, who we should definitely chat about and get on the show. He's doing some really, really wild stuff, has this like massive seed bank of Australian native seeds. He's been collecting for 25 years and plants them in, new growth forests and all of these things. But he's a big fan of it. So he's the one that introduced me. It was like, you should check this out. You should look into it. And his approach is very much this, if we look at it purely from an innovation and sustainability perspective, is a game changer. But where it falls down a little bit is what's the actual adoption curve and what's the culture and acceptance to this kind of stuff. Like grown meat is another thing.
Yeah.
Similar category.
Yeah. Wow. I'm absolutely blown away by this. I have not heard of this before. I've heard of lab-grown meat, and I certainly know about awesome things where it can be like grown from algae or fungi and things like that, like various other materials. That's really cool stuff. You're not the inventor of the process. I'm not going to grill you on too much of the science.
Sure.
But does that mean they could sort of control for certain things like lactose or whatever?
In my uneducated answer, I'm going to assume yes. But if they can take it out, I guess they can just not put it in. Works for watermelons and seeds. Different process.
They don't take the seeds out of the watermelons.
No, they just grow the watermelon without it. So you could just, could you ferment the milk
without lactose?
I'm not sure.
So I feel like a big part of it is going to be selling it, this precision fermented no cow milk, and selling it in a way that's more for the person than the planet. I know that sounds really cynical, but recently with takeaway coffee cups, I've been saying when I take my cup from like the office kitchen to go to the cafe, instead of being like, we're throwing out 1 billion coffee cups a year and it's the worst thing. And I was like, I just don't love the idea of that plastic lining.
Yeah.
And that's true. I like drinking out of a real cup, and I just don't really love that plastic lining in the takeaway cups. And I kind of feel like framing it as, this isn't good for you either.
Yeah.
Like it's bad for the planet, but it's also not good for you.
Totally. There's also, if you go down a more pretentious route,
Go on.
there's a really good spiel. I can't remember who I heard it from. But if you go out to a nice wine bar or get a cocktail paying like 10, 20 bucks and it's the best of the best, served in a really nice glass.
Yeah.
Probably got some ambient lighting, really good experience. Whereas you can go and get the best coffee in the world. Probably still cost you an arm and a leg, but it'll just be served in a paper cup with plastic lining. It's like, it feels shit.
Yeah.
Like it's not a nice it's not like a nice experience to
Would you like a
drink out
Dagwood
of.
dog with that world's best coffee? You know?
Yeah. Oh, I would like a Dagwood dog. I actually don't know if I've ever
Are
had
you
one,
offering
but I
or
like
just
the-
being mean? Where's the Dagwood dog?
Dagwood dogs are in the same category as donuts for me, except for the Smith & Nellie vegan donuts we have here. Every other donut, the idea of it, amazing. I'd love one. And then you have one and you're like, oh, this is terrible.
Smith and Daughters are making vegan Dagwood dog.
I hope so.
Yeah, no. They
are?
Yeah, they are.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's why Dagwood dog was like in my mind.
Oh, wow.
The way that Shannon, she was on their socials talking about it and she was just like, kind of want to make trashy foods that are really good. And when you mentioned their donuts, it's like, that's what they're doing with the donuts as well. They're so good.
100%, yeah. Anyway, so my curiosity and what I'd love to chat about is how does that play out? Because we could expect some pretty gnarly pushback from the existing industry, the dairy industry.
Totally.
So from that side, there's going to be a bunch of barriers.
Yeah.
And then also just from the customer, because you're kind of like, okay, well, that sounds really cool, but also sounds really weird. And like, I don't really like the idea of lab being attached to my food, let alone like precision fermentation and giant biofermenters. Biofermenters?
I reckon, okay, lab grown meat doesn't do it for me. I don't love the idea. Precision fermentation, fermented foods are really good for you and people know that. And that message is pretty well out there.
Mm-hmm.
And beer is well accepted.
It's a good gateway. Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's a fermented drink. And my thing is, if you start talking about fermented milk, I'm thinking Yakult.
Well, that's a good point. So the language around how it's communicated is a big thing.
Yeah.
My initial thoughts on it, but can you kind of Trojan horse it a little bit? Like once it's approved and from a health and safety perspective, it's the same. How many things are we consuming in our everyday life that we're not actually in direct contact with all of the products and the sources of where they're coming from? So, for example, a cake from the shop or something like this, and it's used on more of an industry back of house filler, but it's not trying to be sold to the consumer.
Mate,
Where does that sit in like
slippery slope? Hey,
but once it's approved, it's like dairy.
if it is, if it's
like, does it matter?
maybe not. When I lived in the States, I remember reading in ingredient lists and just being pretty horrified by what was in some stuff. But that's different because it was like corn syrup and all those highly processed foods, like ultra processed foods.
Sure.
Would it ever be approved to be just called milk though?
So the company in America that's been approved and they're selling it B2B and they just call it dairy and they call it milk. So it's not even like alternative milk where they use a Y.
They just call it
like
milk.
They just call it sustainable milk.
Wow.
I don't even say sustainable. They say that in their website, but
Super interesting.
you're not sure about that. You're like, I would like to know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I was about to say the same thing about wasabi. Wasabi is never ever really wasabi.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a good shelf life. It's usually
With the milk
horseradish.
thing, it's like at least
It's actually milk?
technically on paper.
Yeah. It feels a little bit post-truth, you know? It feels a little bit not knowing. I don't know. Now I feel like I'm tying myself in knots.
But this is comes into it's complicated, or is it? Because the amount of large scale dairy that would be produced and the cows would be in really awful conditions and the factories are terrible, lots of emissions. If all of that could be done cheaper, which looks pretty likely that you would if it's simpler manufacturing process, if we can call milk a manufacturing process, then it seems like a win-win. Because you're dancing with the devil, the companies that are doing a bad job, but you're kind of not beating them at their own game, but like you're giving them a product that they're accidentally being really sustainable with.
Right. And actually, I'm thinking about how I've been kind of on one side of this argument so far today, but last time we spoke when Frankie was here, I was talking about how I'd served up ham, beautiful double smoked ham that was from wild boar.
This is true.
And my point was no one asks how the pig was farmed. Usually when they're eating ham.
Yeah.
And so the fact that this was wild.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. Yeah, now I'm really I've caught myself in a bind here.
Well, I'm glad you did. I didn't piece those together. Cool. Well, that's enough milk chat. I assume it feels like we've been on milk.
Feels like enough milk chat. So
over to you on the card choice.
All right. Well, what the fuck do I do? Or little steps forward. The card that we can't decide what to name.
The card with 2 titles.
So yeah, it's like resources groups or opportunities to get involved and move from hopelessness to action. The reason I was going to bring that up is because part of why you and I have both been so busy recently is we've both been running a bunch of workshops. You've also been recording workshops and putting them online, which is awesome and extra work.
The internet's a crazy place.
Oh, yeah. Just dropping a truth bomb there. And so with that, both of us could speak about some of the stuff we've been showing people what to do that they can actually do. Because sometimes when you start talking about taking action towards positive environmental outcomes, sustainability and regeneration, it's easy to try and look at it in the scale of everything that needs to happen and think, well, what's the point? Or is it going to make enough of a difference? And I guess you can think about what difference is it making in the big scheme of emissions, my one little action, but also the difference that's really powerful is it makes you feel a lot better. And I know that's like, it's not just a placebo effect. It actually makes you get unstuck. You start doing something.
Totally.
And you meet other people who are doing it and you feel less alone. And you may influence other people who hadn't thought to do anything. And then you start encouraging more people to change or norms to change or people's ideas about stuff to change. And then you also feel not just less stuck and hopeless and not just less alone in it, but also you start to feel more hopeful.
Yeah, one thing that this very long transition to a circular and regenerative world lacks is positive short feedback loops.
Yes.
And your workshops, which I'm sure you'll tell us a lot about, are really short feedback loops. You make the thing and then you've done.
Yeah.
And you've made a positive impact and you've learned a new skill and it's only been like 45 minutes.
Honestly, even before I was thinking about food as a way to make positive climate change, like climate impact, back when I was just thinking about enjoying cooking for people, I always said that one of my favorite things about cooking was it was such a short positive feedback loop. You think about what you want to do. It's like creative problem solving. Yeah. And a lot of the creative problem solving I do in my work life has like a really long tail. But this is just like, I've got that stuff, or I've got this person coming around who's got these dietaries and these preferences, and I've got this kind of stuff I can cook, and what can I make with it? And then you make it and you learn something, you enjoy it, you share it, you eat it, and it's like really positive feedback loop.
Yeah. I think it's probably important to put that perspective and context to something that, I've slipped into this mindset. I wonder if you have, but I think a lot of people that are working in the space, because they're on that really long timeline.
Yeah.
It's very easy to have the flip side of that short feedback loop and go, well, what does it matter? I'm only one person. Yeah. I've just made 1 jar of pickles.
Yeah.
The problem is so big.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pickle my way out of this.
We're in a pickle. We're not going to pickle our way out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Individual change at scale is a huge impact. And so that there is a lot of value in that. But the success of it isn't purely measured by the pickles that you make or the coffee that you turn into kombucha, which I really hope I get to try. It's about the positive impact that happens, like you said, on you and the people around you. Yeah. And then the mindset that you take into the rest of that day and the next day to tackle the larger problems. It's all kind of connected together.
Yeah, it totally is. And it's like, don't try and keep doing carbon calculations on your life actions. Like, remember that you need to like nourish yourself and your community and your sense of optimism as well.
Totally.
And I've been teaching cooking workshops, like low waste cooking workshops at the Queen Victoria Market at the Moving Feast Kitchen. We're teaching people to make things like a veggie stock paste that's from offcuts of veggies. Someone came into our first workshop and saw it and he said, I thought you were about to talk to us about composting. And I was like, no, all of that's edible. All of that food that's in front of you is fine. So there was just like a
bunch of food scraps on the table?
Well, each of them had like a little bowl that they were going to be cooking. We measured it all out and done quantities.
Right.
There's tops of carrots and...
Did you just say...
Tops of tomatoes.
Cooler than that?
No, I did not. Should have. Missed opportunity. The other one we're teaching is pickling. So if there's especially things that are little scraps of food or veggies that might not have gotten used. And then instead of chucking them back in the fridge and going, yeah, I'm definitely going to cook that next time, just pickle it. You know, instead of it lasting like another week in the fridge and maybe going mushy or less sometimes and making you feel bad about yourself, chuck it into some brine, quick pickles so fast. And
so good.
Yeah, and then it's delicious and you've allowed it to live its purpose as being food that's eaten.
Totally.
I've done it. I've pulled out the cucumber from the veggie crisper that I forgot was there and it's just
so sad.
So raw. It's like all like literally liquefying and I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You deserved better than this, but you compost now.
Yeah.
And so, especially things that don't have a great shelf life, just such a good thing to do with them.
Yeah. And how do you think they're going to be implementing that into their life afterwards?
Yeah. One of the pickles we were talking about was basically odds and ends. I got a message from someone who came to our pickling workshop the week afterwards and she said, just pickled odds and ends from the week and thanks for introducing me to a new weekly ritual.
Cool.
I know.
Oh, weekly ritual. Love that.
I love it. And then you've got that through the week and you've got this delicious stuff you're chucking in your food and it's making it more delicious. After the stock paste one of the bits of feedback that really stuck with me was someone said, this made me feel less scared about what I could do in the kitchen.
I think I've told you about my experience with pickles.
Yeah, go on.
It seems like it's this big, scary idea.
Yeah.
And I think what makes it even scarier is it's so simple. And so if you just Google a recipe and then you do it at home, and they also really emphasize the sterilization of the container, which is obviously important. But because it's so simple, I just couldn't convince myself that I'd done it correctly.
Yeah.
And so I pickled all this daikon by myself for the first time off a Google recipe. And then it sat there for a few weeks. And I was like, I don't think it looks right. And then I just didn't eat it. It sat there for ages and then we just threw it out.
So what we taught was fridge pickles or quick pickles, which is great for making a jar of pickles rather than a huge batch.
Yeah, because you can do it. You can eat it pretty much straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another thing. I thought it had to sit there for days.
Yeah. No, because it's not
pickle something
fermenting.
and just put it in dinner.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll decide we're having tacos and then I'll make the pickled onions. And by the time I've made the rest of the tacos of all the other stuff,
they're ready to go. Yeah. Pickled beetroot like that.
Oh, man.
Thinly, like julienned beetroot, raw beetroot. Wow. So good.
So I do this sliced burger style beetroot and sometimes it's like we're having burgers.
Like a crinkle cut.
Oh, no crinkle cut, just straight cut. No, I don't have a crinkle cut knife.
Yeah.
And then the brine from that, awesome for pickling. At the moment I've got cauliflower, beetroot pickled cauliflower. So it's bright pink. It's so good.
We also, in the cafe, because we make a shitload of pickles, we were doing these like cucumber burger pickles.
Yeah.
That was so, so good. And they went in a mushroom sandwich.
Yeah.
And we're like, damn, we've got like all of this pickle brine left over all the time. Like, what are we going to do with it? And so we substituted oil for when we cooked the mushrooms that the pickles go in the sandwich. And we would like kind of saute them in the pickle brine.
Oh, so good.
Oh, they were so good. And it smells amazing.
Yeah.
And all like, because they have mustard seeds in there. So the mustard seeds cook with the mushrooms. Yeah, it's so good.
And that stuff's amazing for salad dressings. I mean, I know you're not making salads in here.
Yeah,
but
we used to dress rice with it as well. Like when we do rice bowls.
Perfect.
So yum.
I knew it was like only a matter of time. I'm actually surprised it's taken us this long to nerd out about pickles on the podcast.
Yeah. That's not what happened. We've looped around it a bunch of times.
Yeah. We've just been like, don't talk about pickles in the episode 1. Don't be that cliche. That's like straight away.
Every episode. I love pickles. You can't get enough of pickles.
Man, they're so good. And so that kind of stuff to teach people, like the joy that both of us have just like expressed talking about pickles. And part of it is the ability to do it yourself. There's like levels of how scary or difficult it can seem. Like fridge pickles or quick pickles are just like a gateway pickle. It's so easy. But then fermenting, you feel all this ownership of it. And someone was saying as well after our last pickle workshop that they had taken the pickles to a dinner party, and that little thing like, I made these, you know.
Yeah.
That's really
like
cool.
You rock up with, instead of a bottle of wine or a bottle of wine and a little jar of pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Katie Faulkner, who is an awesome person. I'd love to have her on the podcast. She's
cool.
Doing stuff around active transport. She popped by the office end of last year, just with a whole lot of little jars of Christmas pickles for everyone.
Oh, so good. That's amazing.
Yeah, just like I made a batch of pickles for everyone everyone got Christmas pickles.
Christmas pickles and gateway pickles.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something about the word pickle even. We just want to really
It's a
dirt
joyful
out.
word. So those are the workshops I've been teaching, and I don't think we're trying to calculate the carbon emissions saved by people who come through the kitchen and go home and make pickles of their own veggie scraps. But I think the measurement is they change their attitude to what good food or what the potential of food is. They learn stuff and they change their idea about what they can do, and they feel connected, like being in the kitchen with all those people cooking and chatting and experimenting with stuff. It's like really wonderful community vibes.
That's interesting because there's sometimes someone that's really skilled and really deep in whatever it is, from the outside looking in, it can just seem a little bit complicated and you're like, oh yeah, but they're experts and they're XYZ. But I'm imagining myself in one of your workshops. I can imagine it's totally the opposite. It's very much, more the merrier, really accessible, easy ways to kind of jump on board and break down complex information into just really bite-sized, like accessible chunks, like gateway pickle recipes.
I really hope so, and that's totally my aim with it. I nerd out about food, but I'm not a chef at all. I know what it's like to look at a recipe and feel really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And try and really make it. So you sort of can go, you don't need to do all of those things. You just need to remember a few basic rules and it can change. Like I think the main thing you can give someone is confidence to do something that's pretty good. No one's opening a restaurant after one of our workshops.
Yeah.
But they are having fun making stuff that tastes really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got a nice little short feedback loop.
Yeah, exactly.
Leave a smile on the face.
Yeah.
What I also love about that is the empowering aspect of it and, carrying that over into other areas of your life, because there's so many different examples of it seems like a really scary thing to do, or even if it doesn't seem scary, it just seems hard.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know how to do that. I'll just either won't do it or I'll get someone else to do it.
Yeah. Oh, so much stuff. I did a bike maintenance workshop, 3-hour bike maintenance workshop.
Yeah.
And the other amount of stuff that I might have sent my bike to somewhere else to get done that I was like, no, now I know how to do it.
Yeah. For sure.
I've been talking a heap about my workshops, but you've also been super busy running workshops and recording workshops. And that also fits into that category of what the fuck do I do? Little steps forward.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of hinting around with the, feeling empowered into the other areas that you can. Because I remember the first time I tailored a pair of pants. The gratification.
Yeah.
I didn't even do a good job. Just the fact that the pants were too big before. I bought them off Depop. They were like maybe 2 sizes too big.
Yeah.
And then I just cut them open, which is kind of scary because you're like, well, I actually really like those and now I've got to bring them back together. And then they worked really well. We see that in almost every workshop that we do, particularly if it's around repair techniques.
Yeah.
And particularly if the person hasn't sewn before.
Cool.
Because a sewing machine in itself, most of what we do is centered around a domestic sewing machine.
Yep.
So it's all kind of repair, textile, random materials that we find that we upcycle into carryware. But we bake in a bunch of these kind of textile repair techniques and we use them as ways to sort of like style and add value to your product. But we also present them in a way where you could go home and fix a pair of pants or whatever.
Awesome. Yeah.
So it's sort of like 2 birds, 1 stone. It's really empowering.
Yes.
Because it's really not that hard.
But it seems hard and it seems high stakes. Ruining a cucumber by pickling it wrong or ruining some daikon versus what you're talking about with the pants.
Yeah.
Right? Like how much sewing had you done before you tailored a pair of pants?
I'd had sewn for years.
Okay. But it was like something about going, oh, that was a thing I like and now I'm going to make it suit me. Or the like repair aspect?
Yeah, I guess it would be even more daunting if you didn't know how to sew.
I thought maybe you said like the first pair of pants you tailored was like the first sewing you did. And I'm like, that's
absolutely not. No. We had the cafe and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. It's scary because we might not be able to put it back together.
Yeah, totally.
Like cut up into parts and pieces, which a lot of the time you have to do.
Yeah.
There's just a couple of really, same with pickles. There's just like 2 or 3 really simple rules and concepts. And as soon as you get them, which is just like reversing the process of assembly. So usually on the exterior of a pair of pants is the first seam that they do up. And so you can see on the outside of your pants, you'll have 2 stitches.
Yeah.
Whereas on the inside, there's only 1 stitch.
Yeah.
That's because the inside one was the second seam to be sewn up, and it's done inside out.
Yeah.
So when you turn it inside out, you can pull that seam apart and re-sew it back together, and it's going to look exactly how it did before.
But you don't go messing with the outside one because that's like,
You could.
that's on show.
You just have to undo both seams. So you can't
And it wouldn't
do that one back up.
wear the same, like you'd notice.
Yeah. What's been really wild with Intercarry over the last probably 12 to 18 months is, like I said before, the internet's a crazy place. And so we started just putting our process of upcycling on Instagram and TikTok. And then all of a sudden there was all these people from all around the world. And we would be like, hey, we're doing this workshop. It's going to be super fun. You can come and upcycle some stuff, learn some skills, hang out with people that are also legends. And they're like, yeah, that sounds great, but I'm in France or Chile or Canada, wherever. Probably not going to be able to make the workshop on time. So yeah, for about 12 months, people were asking us to do online workshops. And we're like, well, I don't know how the hell to do that. Like, what does that even look like? And what we've ended up doing is we've started an online community hub, which is called Into Community. That exists at the moment for a platform for us to deliver our online tutorials. So we've got like how to turn soft plastic into a new material using stuff you have lying around the house.
So fun.
That sits up on there. We've got another one that's like fundamentals of repair techniques, like what I was talking about before. You can also use them for upcycling or for repair. But what I'm the most excited about is, there's probably a couple hundred people on there now, and it's just got a community feed.
Yay.
So everyone can chat to each other. And already people are kind of like, oh, I can't wait to see your like little experiments with XYZ. And like,
so good.
You're on there. You've seen like the feed before. Feed put a little post up, and just being able to engage with people directly like that, not on something like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. That seems a little bit more like an individual chatting to a brand, whereas this is more like we're all the same people and we're connecting as individuals.
Yeah.
And there is no like getting on the community is free.
Yeah.
We're going to put more free resources up there for learning as well. Some of the stuff that takes a lot more time is, it's like $17 or something for a tutorial. But I'm really, really excited to see where that goes. And also, it doesn't necessarily need to be just sewing.
Yeah.
Why it's called Into Community is so that hopefully we can blow that up to pickles or whatever happens.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
That's so cool.
Within the first few days of us putting up the plastic pressing tutorial, someone jumped on there and was just like, oh my God, thank you so much. I've been like researching this on YouTube for months, but I just like couldn't bring myself to do it because I wasn't sure if it was safe.
Yeah, you needed a trusted guide.
Yeah, it's about the trust.
Yeah.
It's the same with having a personal trainer or like a nutrition. I've never had a nutritionist, but I imagine it's the same thing. You're like, okay, I could have found this information on the internet because the issue for all of this kind of stuff isn't a lack of information.
Yeah.
It's which information is important and who do I trust that's giving it to me.
Yes.
And that is hopefully what's going to be really, really cool about this inter-community thing, because it's just a whole bunch of people that trust each other that can kind of share all of this knowledge and kind of build on top of it. The pickle thing, got it off the internet, didn't trust myself, was shown how to do it. I was like, okay, well, that's exactly what I did last time. It would have been fine, but you just need that trust aspect.
What do they call it? It's tacit knowledge. We talk about it with the kitchen quite a bit. It's the knowledge you get from sort of being around people who have expertise and stuff. So as you're doing something, you can just be like, hey, would this go with that? Like people, when we were doing the pickle workshop, you weren't making it from a recipe. We explained the logic and we gave them a couple of like classic combos. So, what do pickled onions go with them? What would the spices be? What would the good vinegar be? Or what are like banh mi pickles? What's the vinegar?
Yeah.
What are the ratios? But the ratios generally are the same. It's just you can tweak certain things. And so we just had a whole lot of market produce out, a whole lot of spices and like a selection of vinegars.
Yeah.
And people made up their own pickles on the day.
God, that sounds like such a good workshop.
Oh my God, I had the best time. We're going to run it again.
That's awesome.
When you think about how we learn as kids, like that's how we play.
Yeah.
You sort of learn not just like the rules and you can do this and not, but you sort of sense out, especially when you've got older siblings, what it's sort of okay to do and what's possible. And then you learn from kind of getting it wrong sometimes, but it's usually fairly low stakes.
You've watched it happen dozens of times before you actually do it yourself.
Yeah.
So you don't learn that by looking at a recipe.
No.
You don't need to worry about exactly how many grams are in it right now.
Yeah.
You learn the process and then you go into your own journey afterwards.
Cooking especially, but so many things. We've talked about it before with sewing. So many people, if you've got a parent who sews going, oh, yeah, that thing got fixed, or that's how that thing got kind of pulled apart and repaired or came together. And if you've grown up around those skills, when you read something, it feels very concrete and like there's only one way of doing it. But when you watch someone do something over and over again, you sort of pick up on the underlying logic of it. And that's so much more empowering.
For sure. Also, there's a constant battle between learning the rules before you break them, breaking the rules and then learning them afterwards. And the tacit learning approach, you kind of get enough of the foundations that you're not going to like blow up a jar of pickles by like leaving it outside.
Yeah.
So you learn those fundamentals, but you learn enough to be like, oh, maybe I feel empowered enough that I could put some wild spices that they didn't talk about it into my cauliflower pickle.
Yeah.
Cool, fun.
So Love fun.
It. Final card. It's still good.
Go on. Have you got one?
I do have one. So yesterday I had to make a video to promote our upcoming workshop, which is called Pants into Carry, where you bring in your old favourite pants.
Yep.
And we turn them into your new favourite bag.
Wow.
It's the tagline.
Nice.
No, I haven't got any feedback on that yet, so it's good. It's good to know that it gets a nice approval.
All I can think of is the time that you were talking, when we were talking to Gemma about the fact that I had shoes that I'd got off Hard Rubbish, and you were saying how that's quite intimate, that I'm wearing shoes that someone else's feet have been in. And then you said sometimes you have to pull apart jeans to turn them into bags, and that's how intimate that is. And I was like, you've decided that other people will deal with their own worn pants instead of you.
Yeah, it feels nicer that way. I mean, we don't want to have someone having to have a busted pair of pants to be like a barrier to entry. So they're welcome to come and use someone else's pants. We have heaps of people's pants here. Yeah, no shortage of pants.
Sorry. You were telling a totally good story and I just made it silly. I'm sorry.
That's exactly what we're after. So yesterday I came in, I had to make this video and I was like, darn, I think I might have cut up all of our like nice looking pants that we have here. Oh. And I'm just down to like scraps and I really need like a full pair of pants. And one of our cafe customers, it was so sweet. She folded up her broken pants and put them in a nice little pile on the studio bench and then drawn like two little artworks, and put them on top of the pants and then a note on top saying, came in to drop the pants off. They're broken. I can't use them anymore. I thought they might be really good for upcycling. And also I made you some artwork.
Amazing.
And they are the perfect pants.
Wait, but the customer didn't know that you were needing pants? They just brought you pants.
Yeah.
You put the call out to the universe and the universe responded with pants.
I walked into work and I was like, geez, I think I'm out of pants. And then there was a nice little perfect pair of pants.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's what we can call this episode, the perfect pair of pants.
The perfect pair of pants. That's amazing. And it also brings us back basically full circle, not all the way back to milk, which is fine. I think milk got enough coverage, but all the way back to the whole idea of community and people being part of it. You making these videos and showing people what you're doing and having this space in the cafe and having the shop and the workshop up the back where people can see what you're doing changes your customers' perception of, oh, that's actually got a life in it still.
Yeah.
Do you think that customer,
what would have happened to it otherwise?
Yeah, what would have happened to it otherwise, or what would they have thought they were good for if you hadn't already been demonstrating that they're good for using to turn into bags?
So the copy that we've put on this pants workshop, I say this and I'm going to assume that this customer is probably going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of us do, is the pants or whatever the clothing item is, they're either broken, so they've lost their tangible longevity, or you don't wear them anymore. They've lost their usefulness to you.
Yeah.
Out of style, you're a new person, you don't need snow pants in Australia anymore, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if they're still good enough to take to the op shop, you can take them to the op shop, but the op shop's not going to take a pair of busted pants.
Yeah.
And you also don't want to throw them out. Like, well, what do I do with it? And they just sit in the back of the wardrobe. So the goal for the workshop is get that pair of pants that's definitely in the back of your wardrobe that you used to love because you wore them enough until they broke. So you have an attachment to them and pull them out and bring them in and we'll make something fun out of them.
That's so good.
I'm going to assume that they would have set up the back of the wardrobe and then eventually got thrown out.
Yeah, because that's what happens to the things that you love too much to get rid of, but you don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. That's such a nice story to end on. Maybe we could call the episode Pants and Pickles.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
All right.
Thanks, Fee.
Thanks, Luke.